You said you found it?
Yes, I have the opener.
I meant your dignity.
Bitch.
Welcome to GayTalk 2.0, the ultimate podcast for your dose of dish.
All right, well, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode with difficulties of a GayTalk 2.0, an LGBT podcast streaming live on Digital Stream Radio, where you can access that live stream every Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
It's Monday, Wednesday.
Yeah, I know. Who knows? At 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can do so by visiting digitalstreamradio.com.
Are we recording?
Yes, we are. My name is Tom, and I'm your host, and we are recording. And as always, I'm in the studio with my amazing co-host, starting with the first one.
Hey, y'all. Nick or Trish.
And our boy over here.
J Bear, a.k.a. your boyfriend's boyfriend.
I threw you off a little bit, didn't I?
Yeah, I was like, your boy. Ooh.
Our boy, our boy. I don't know. I have to call you something.
Something.
So,
boy was nice. Thank you for being so generous.
Oh, you're welcome. How is you?
We'll
good. Start with you.
Yeah, I guess we're starting with me today.
Yeah, we're speaking Ebonics today.
We're doing good. I went camping. I went to the woods.
The woods.
Camping resort in PA.
Is that your story?
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You're thicking to
I'm
it?
sticking to it.
Yeah.
Well, thicking too. If you want to elaborate.
Elaborate.
Well, he's a little thick. He loves it.
That's not what I'm saying.
Of course, you're never saying that. No, it was good. It was a nice time. It's an LGBTQ plus owned and operated campground.
Right.
Clothing optional.
And we've mentioned this before. I mean, we talked about it because this is not the first time that you've been.
No,
and you always go with your brother-in-law, right?
Yes.
So who is his wife's brother?
Yes.
So
it was fun.
Cool.
It was a great weekend. It was the long, of course, holiday weekend, so we had a good time. Everybody assumed that we were partners, he and I.
Right.
And everybody was like, why are you and your partner sleeping in separate tents? And
Until they find out, that's my wife's brother.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, that's my brother-in-law. Oh, that's nice. So you're married to his... And I'd be like, wife? And they're like, who, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Everybody was so confused.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
you know
it was
what?
fun.
It's not up to you to clarify for them
Yep.
where you stand in relationships. People just shouldn't assume.
Yeah, it's an all gay campground, so I guess,
Right.
there were probably, this is the most women I've seen. Second time I've been there was probably about 6.
Right. The last time you went with your daughter.
My daughter and her cousin and her cousin's girlfriend.
Interesting.
So it was
nice.
fun. It was a nice weekend. A lot of good events. They actually they have an amphitheater now, and they did a drag show. It was really, really well done. I was amazed. Sometimes you think, we're camping. They're just going to be fooling around, being a hot mess. Stuff was choreographed, and it was on point.
Oh,
good.
On point.
Well,
It
I'm
was
glad
really
you
good.
enjoyed yourself. I mean, we
Yeah.
keep saying that we should try to book something, but if I were to go camping, I need to have a cabin. It needs to have a bathroom indoors. I'm not walking across a field to go shower.
also, it's a gay campground, so bidets necessary.
Right, I would bring mine and my wrenches and make sure that I retrofit my
Wrenches?
bidet. Yeah, I would bring my.
Get one of those portable bidet bottle thingies. They sell now.
No.
They sell a whole kit now that you connect the water bottle to it and it's automated and the whole nine.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
A portable bidet.
You need to do a review on that.
Yeah,
need to
I'll
buy
look it up
one?
because I saw it the other day.
Yeah. Oh, so you were thinking about it. Washing your ass.
I don't know why it popped up. Probably because we were talking about bidets and then it popped up on one of my timelines.
Which is usually the case. We're always talking about some stuff.
Yep.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
But it
I'm
was
glad,
it was a good time.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. So we probably should at some point decide whether or not we're going to make a trip, and then we can probably record an episode from over there.
Possibly, yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know, maybe we'll do the episode live by the campfire. We'll bring all the equipment and some batteries, and we'll figure it out.
Well, they have quite a bit of stuff. They're well prepared.
Yeah, so I have my extension cords. You know, we can run an extension cord. We'd all sit by the fire. We can interview some of the
Or the pool, or the dance club.
Right, but wait. So you said that people who are seasonal that go there often are called
Perms.
So we'll interview some of the perms.
Yes.
And get the scoop
some
on
scoops.
this little.
It's really cool. You know,
gay
it's
hideaway.
weird. It's weird in the sense that I've done camping for many years, and what I've experienced here that's different is that you can be walking through a site and people are hanging out having drinks outside, and they're like, "Come over, have a drink with us," or "Here for your walk to wherever you're headed."
Oh, that's cute.
Like people, yeah,
They're nice.
Oh, absolutely.
What?
Yeah.
She clearly
So, yeah,
hasn't
she-
been
she
one
hasn't
of the
been,
ones,
yeah.
one of the guests.
And then
Yeah.
they've had several events, and then it's BYOB everywhere you go. They
Even
don't,
at
they
the
don't,
club?
Yeah, they don't sell liquor. They don't sell beer.
So you can bring a cooler with
So
you.
yeah, you could bring your coolers. Any event, anything is BYOB.
Oh, she gonna be smashed.
And-
You say
but-
the cooler, and I think
yeah.
of that time when we went to Tanglewood, and you were walking out with your cooler and Chris.
And Chris,
And Chris.
right? Like I had to drag Chris all over the place. That was hilarious.
But what they do is they bring a beer truck, a draft beer truck.
Oh, nice.
And they did 2 events this weekend where the truck was there. One was a jockstrap party.
Right.
And like they said, you could, what was it? They said, you could come with your athletic support, or if you're a supporter, you can just come along with them. But it was fun. It was a fun hangout. And then they did their first ever shot crawl.
The shot crawls. Can
So-
you explain what the shot crawl
So the
is?
shot crawl, hence the name, like a bar crawl.
Shot,
but
shot,
yeah,
shot.
the perms that have permanent residency there set up in a certain way, and they basically, you were led by golf cart to the locations, and a group of people was walking behind them, and then you'd show up to a site, and they'd have a table full of shots.
Oh, nice. So,
so-
did you participate in the
Oh
shots?
yeah, well, absolutely.
What was your favorite?
So some of the spots had really good stuff, but I had a couple of favorites. My number one was a
the blowjob.
chocolate cherry ganache shot.
Oh, that
Sounds like a drag queen.
Yeah, right.
Actually, there is a
chocolate
drag
cherry
queen.
ganache.
Something ganache.
But it
Yeah,
was yummy.
That's not happening.
Yeah, it was yummy. And then they had actually, there was the first shot I took, they said it was a maple syrup and coconut rimmed shot glass
Right.
with it was a coconut infused. It was like 151 100 proof rum. Man, I took a shot of
151?
that. Yeah, it was.
Oh my God. Holy hell.
But these guys that served that shot, you had to go up a ramp into their trailer, and they had a huge deck built out in front of the trailer, massive deck, hot tub. They had a day bed.
Oh, you would have been right on
day
it.
bed, hot tub going.
151.
Yeah, two big bears, older guys, really, really sweet, really nice. And what was cool is you
But wait a minute. So they built a deck. How long were they? Were these one of the?
the perms, one of the perms.
One of the
yeah.
perms. Okay.
I mean, outdoor shower built in next to the. I mean, they really go all out. What they build stuff.
So what do they do?
shit.
Carry this wood with them, and they go.
No,
and
they're permanent residents there, so
Oh, okay.
they're there every year.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Perms.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they did the works on it, amazing, and it was cool. You walk by and then they have a body size pillow, and the pillow had one of the guy's pictures, like him and his leather, laid out, and it's on the pillow, printed on the pillow. So it looks like there's a guy on the couch from afar, and it's actually a pillow.
So basically, you can lay on the guy without laying on the guy.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
It was fun.
Nice. And Trish, how are you?
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
She's fine. That's it. Just fine. Did you enjoy your weekend?
Yeah, we had a lovely weekend. I
We
mean,
did.
we pretty much spent it together.
We did.
We went to our friend's house for her birthday on Saturday.
Right.
I don't think I've laughed that much in years.
We had such a good time. So we
Yeah.
did karaoke. It was my best friend Jack's birthday.
And then Sunday, I worked with you.
At the bar, and then
It was so fucking busy.
it was.
By the end of the night, I was like, I'm too fucking old for this. I was literally like crouched over. My back was hurting. Everything was fucking hurting. It was worth it.
Oh, of course it was.
But at the end of the day, I was just like, oh my God, why am I in so much fucking pain right now? And then we ended up evading the rain and having a nice steak early dinner.
Right. Well, the thing was, it kept saying it was going to rain all day, right? And I was like, Nick, if we don't do something because we think it's going to rain, we're not going to do anything at all.
Yeah.
And finally, he just said, fine, I'll come over. And we came over. We went to the store. We picked up some stuff. We made some like caprese salad. We had steaks. We did some veggies on the grill. And we sat and we just, had a really good time. We drank. We ate.
And Raleigh just pooped all over your yard.
All over I got to see my niece. So Raleigh is Nick's roommate's dog. Well, basically it's Nick's because, she loves you. And I call her my niece. So she comes over and she just roams my yard, marking all the places. She's a female dog. My two dogs are just going right behind her like, oh no, fuck you, bitch, let me mask this. But she came over, she was chill, my dogs were chill, we cooked steaks, we ate, we had a good time, and just making good use of the fact that today is going to be my last that day was my last Monday off. Now I have to go back to the office on Mondays.
Yep.
Oh, it's going to be tough. Especially, when you get out of the bar at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then you have to drive home. You have to sort of kind of work down from your buzz because, you're buzzing all night. You've got people singing and you're singing. And then the next morning, you're just like, don't talk to me until at least 9 o'clock. I haven't had coffee yet. So my nose is itching and I think I want to sneeze and I don't want to. And so anyway, but yeah, we had a good weekend.
Mm-hmm. So you guys got rain, Saturday night?
No, it
into
was
Sunday or Sunday night?
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Man, it came
No,
down.
it was
Tuesday
Monday
where I was
night
already
into
back home.
Tuesday, yeah. Because it woke me up. Yeah.
And then Tuesday, it just kept raining and raining and raining.
When we were camping, they announced rain for Saturday. Then it moved to Sunday, but it started raining Saturday night.
Right. Well, that's basically what happened here. They kept saying, oh, it's going to rain at 4 o'clock. Then at 4 o'clock, you look at the weather, and it was like, no, now it's 5 o'clock. And it just kept pushing it back more and back more.
Now, my wife was at her friend's house half an hour from where I was camping. That's how it was. The oddest thing. She was supposed to originally she was supposed to go to Jersey. Ended up going to her cousin's house in upstate New York, and then one of her friends, they're like childhood friends.
How is it possible that her being in upstate New York, she's close to you?
No, check this out. So she was in upstate New York, hanging out at her cousin's house. Their best friend shows up from childhood. They've known each other for ages. She ends up going home with her. She's like, "You're going home with me tonight. We're gonna hang out." She lives in Jersey,
right
off of Route 80, which is the way I was going back home. So on my way home, I kind of wanted her to know I'm on my way home. So I text her the GPS location. Hey, this is where I'm at. I'm already home. She calls me. She's like, you're like 20 minutes away, half hour from where D lives. So they text me the address. So I ended up just picking her up and bringing her home with me.
That works.
So cool. Yeah, it worked out. It was just the way it worked out, period,
So basically she did her thing, you did your thing, and then you just met in the middle and
met
came
in
back
the middle.
home.
So we met up. Now she told me it rained all day Saturday in Jersey where she was at.
Right.
Because when we spoke during the day, she's like, it's been pouring all day.
Well, we've been looking at some news, some of the news where they're basically covering stories and where flooding was insane. Like the state of Rhode Island was literally underwater. Yeah. Like when you look at some of the pictures of the highways, some of the local streets, people were just like stuck.
Coming back from their long weekend, can't get home.
On the Cape. Yeah. Right, because you have to go through Rhode Island to get into Connecticut.
That was my fear too. That was and especially me. I'm camping and I'm not in my trailer. I have my tent in the back of my pickup.
Right.
So my fear was like, oh shit, if it rains really hard, I don't know. My thing was like, will the back of the pickup fill with water with the tent set up?
But that's okay. So you get a little bit of wet tissue. That's okay.
But no, it actually works well. My tent kind of sits over the side of the truck, so nothing went into the bed, which was a plus. And the rain we got was like Saturday into Sunday.
Right.
Sunday morning, we had no rain for the better part of the morning.
See, this is why I need a cabin. This is why I need to meet some of the, perms, so that we can make friends and be like, I'm coming over with my puppies.
But like I said, they have little, trust me, the people are so friendly. That's amazing. It's really nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but we had enough time on Sunday morning that we got up, we had breakfast, and we packed up. And by the time we were done packing up, we left like at 12, I think, from the campground. And as we were leaving, it was drizzling. It was starting to rain again.
Right.
So it worked out just.
My grass has been dead for 2 months. It's now starting to sprout.
Yeah,
I was like,
everything's
you're late.
confused.
You're late to the game. So Trish and I, again, like as we said before, we had a really good, quiet dinner. Then we all went back home early enough for us to be able to get in bed and sort of kind of have some sort of decent Tuesday.
Even though it was still rough.
I know. It was. So, but other than that, it was good. It was good. All right. So I wanted to talk about something that has come to light recently in regards to.
I need to bitch for a second. Hold
on. I was noticing you're up in your phone over here, and
I'm sorry about this, but like, okay. So I wanted to try something new. This show is not sponsored by HelloFresh. So I wanted to try something
Even her
new.
ass is not HelloFresh, but anyway. Go ahead.
HelloFresh.
Right. Okay. And it was supposed to arrive today, 5 meals for 2 people. Didn't come. Or someone stole it. I don't know. So I'm going back and forth with customer service right now. And they refunded me for $40.
And you paid how much?
$130.
No, bitch. You're going to refund me for the entire thing.
I'm like, so that's why I'm quiet right now. I'm like fighting with somebody via text. I miss being able to talk to someone where you can just yell at them.
Right. But then, I think that's probably the reason why they invented that for people like you.
But I always get my way when I talk to somebody.
I know.
That's why.
But yeah, this is not a velo, bitch. So basically, the food never arrived. Someone may have stolen it. It's not where it needs to be.
Yeah, which is fine. and I said, things happen. Refund me, and I will go ahead and try it again. But I was going to change the address so it went straight to my job so that I know somebody's there to receive it, right? Just in case somebody took it. And their response was, well, we'll credit your account for the full amount or we'll give you this refund. What?
So basically,
the shit didn't arrive. Refund me the full fucking amount.
Oh, she about to get vicious.
Sometimes you gotta.
GayTalk 2.0, not sponsored by HelloFresh.
So I suppose I will not be trying HelloFresh.
Not today.
Not today. So anyway, I wanted to, talk about something that's been on my mind since I read this particular story. And, we've had this conversation on the show before, and I wanted to talk about some of the great, amazing shows that we've seen in the past 6 years. When you think about, for example, Pose. Pose was a show that featured amazing LGBTQ plus representation. Most of the cast itself was either transgender or a member of our community, and it was an incredible show that had. Would you
put my phone down?
Yes, thank you.
God, I feel like I'm at work.
And I think that the show itself was so representative of our community that it was great, fantastic, right? And since then, I feel that even though we've had this conversation before and we've talked about other artists and other actors who have portrayed gay people in movies who are not gay themselves, we find ourselves talking about this conversation or having this conversation, even though we've had monumental shows like Pose and seen other gay actors, be given an opportunity to portray gay characters. The reason why I bring this up is because, Brendan Frazier, an actor who I absolutely loved. I loved all his movies from Encino Man to, the Mummy franchise. Was fantastic. I think he was a great actor, and then he fell off the face of the earth. He had a lot of personal issues, a lot of personal problems. Clearly he was going through it, gained some weight, and like we all do, we have our moments. But recently, Brendan Frazier was casted in a movie to play a 600-pound gay man who left his previous life. The movie's called The Whale. He, obviously Brendan Frazier is 52 years old. He's an actor who's portraying Charlie, who's a 600-pound middle-aged gay man trying to reestablish a bond with his 17-year-old daughter. Previously, this character, Charlie, had abandoned his family for his lover, who then died, leading him to overeating and going through this, emotional distress. And I'm feeling very conflicted of the fact that I love this actor so much and I want him to succeed, but why is Hollywood doing this? And why do they continue to do this when you see, for example, that shows like Pose really made a significant impact and the actors were fantastic and they were all queer actors. I just don't know how I feel about it. I'm conflicted. And so I wanted to throw that on the table and sort of kind of talk about this and decipher a bit what this means. Are we making progress in our community, or are we still having to deal with this bullshit?
Yeah, I think, from my perspective, right, as a bi individual,
Right.
I understand exactly what you mean as far as, why would you have an actor portray a gay man when we have plenty of gay actors, which
Right.
I agree with. However, it's acting. That's basically, it's in the word itself, right? It's in the title itself. You're acting. You should be able to at least take on roles that you portray other individuals. It shows how well developed you are as an actor.
Right.
Now, if I see him portraying 9 or 10 different movies as a gay actor, then I would question it, saying, why are they always choosing him when there are plenty of other
So
gay actors available? But
one could argue, though. Yeah. You're saying, okay, this is probably the first time that he's ever been in this situation where he's playing someone outside of his perceived gender and perceived...
look at all the movies we mentioned. All the movies we mentioned, he's always been some sort of musclehead or, what I mean?
He was hot in the Mummy.
Yeah, he was.
He totally would have gotten it.
But look at what he's portraying now compared to what he's known to portray previously. It's a complete different spectrum that he's ever portrayed before. So, it shows there has been some change or maybe some additional development to his character, right? As an actor. Now, seeing him repeatedly doing the same thing, then I would question it. But you also got to take into account, you go into acting so you can perform, and act out scenes. That's basically what it is. Right. Whether it's gay or straight, I don't see it as a big issue all the time. Yeah.
I could understand that argument, right? You're arguing the fact that, as an actor, you should be able to portray whatever parts come your way because that's what you do. You're an actor, right? But being gay is not about, it's not an act. It's an actual human. It's a person. You are who you are. A community is a community. You can't just, act.
So recently, I was trying to find an article to respond to your question. So recently, I read an article about Billy Eichner's co-star Luke McFarlane in Bros, the new movie that's coming out. And though he's had a semi-successful career, mainly in Hallmark movies and Lifetime movies.
He was also in Brothers and Sisters.
But he had been passed over for so many roles because in April of 2008, he came out as gay.
Right.
He's in that movie. It's clearly an LGBTQ plus film. But when we are seeing an uptick in films that feature LGBTQ plus individuals, I don't understand why heterosexuals are getting the parts over people of the community, especially when you hear stories about someone like this who dedicated their life to this career of acting and being in film and continually being passed over for these larger roles that would make or break him. You know what I mean? This is a breaking out role for him in Bros. And he's I wouldn't say he's young. I mean, he's definitely middle-aged, but like he's at that place in his life where it's like, this should have happened years ago, but because he was gay, it never happened.
Right.
So the reality is we definitely need to keep looking and talking about the fact that we see so much LGBTQ plus representation in film and TV now, but we need to make sure that our community is being represented by the actors that are portraying those roles.
Right. Not to mention, I mean, aside from the accolades that shows like Pose received at the Emmys and some of these other, show category, like shows that award actors for their work, there hasn't really been, as of 2021, dozens of straight actors have been Oscar nominated for portraying gay people. But that distinction has never been afforded to an out actor, right? Mm-hmm. And so we talk about this actor. I know exactly who you're talking about because he's absolutely gorgeous. And one of my favorites, and in Brothers and Sisters, the show on ABC, he was one of my favorites. And, he could have had a very successful career if he stayed in the closet, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
he could have probably been like
Superman
or
Thor, right? It's just it's mind-boggling to me. Another thing, for example, like I think shows like Modern Family, they got a pass, right? You have a gay couple that adopted an Asian baby on the show. One of the actors is actually gay, but the other one isn't, right? And this show was on air on ABC for seasons and seasons and seasons.
Yeah,
and it seems to me like this actor got a pass on that.
But there's something about Cam,
right?
that I don't know if that's. I mean,
if it's acting all the time.
Well, I mean, there's this weird thing because I also agree with Jay. Like to be an actor that can portray both heterosexual and homosexual or whatever it is, it shows your level of skill, your level of talent, right? That's right. And I think that is there's something to be said about that.
To the point where we're questioning whether he's actually straight or not.
Right.
But that's why I'm so conflicted.
Yeah. But like, I also think that, excuse me, it's important whether all the characters are gay or not. Like, I think the majority should be.
I agree with that. And so then it leads me to my question to myself.
And they probably are.
Am I upset that Brendan Frazier got this opportunity and that he's getting Oscar buzz-worthy accolades? I mean, the man got a 6-minute standing ovation where he cried, after being gone and absent for so long because of, his hiatus and whatever problems he was going through. I love Brendan Frazier as an actor. I really do. I don't know him as a human, so I can't really say that I love him as a human, but I love him as an actor. I've loved all the work that he's ever done.
Yeah, and I think we also have to keep in mind that when they're casting for a movie, right? You're looking for that actor that's going to portray the role that you have envisioned as a producer, right?
Right.
So who's to say that there weren't gay men that tried for the part?
Right. But there weren't gay men that were hired. Or who's to say that he's not gay himself? Right? Maybe he hasn't come out. I just don't know. I'm just very conflicted about it. And I thought, I think it would be a good way, especially on the show, to revisit this conversation in how we allow, right? Because here's the thing. I'm going to see this movie. I'm a gay man, and I'm obviously raising these concerns, but I want to see this movie. I want to see him portray, because I've always watched everything he ever did.
So what is the concept of the movie? I'm a little confused as to like, who's gay, who's not gay?
So he plays
portrays
a
a gay
gay
man.
man
Okay.
who left his family and his daughter for a person he fell in love with.
Okay.
They had a relationship. This person dies.
His partner
And
dies.
in his
Got it.
sorrow, he just starts eating his pain and sorrow away. And he gains so much weight. He's like 600 pounds at this point. He tries to pick up the pieces of his life and try to reconnect with, at this point, his 17-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the story just sort of kind of takes its own route, right? It's almost like I'm gonna pick myself up and put myself together, but in order to do that, I need to make right with my past,
Right.
right? And so I think again the storyline would be amazing. I mean, just to see him portraying someone who's 600 pounds. First of all, I mean that's
It's
that in
like
itself.
like a 300-pound suit that he has to throw on the
I
prosthetic.
have no idea.
Yeah, I was reading a bit of the article as you guys were talking. It's like a 300-pound prosthetic suit.
Right. And Brendan Frazier at this age in his life is not a skinny man. He wasn't as buff and fit as he used to be, right? And so
I saw.
it's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
It would be really interesting to see how this all plays out, but I'm gonna watch the movie anyway, but I guess I suppose I will toss the question to the listeners and ask for your opinions on how do you feel about, straight actors at this point in 2022 still getting parts for
I'm trying to look
gay
something
men.
up really quick because
Because
I think I know the person that adapted the movie.
right. So the individual,
Yeah. So I've worked with him before.
right.
Samuel D. Hunter, and he's written some of the most amazing plays and LGBTQ centric works that I've seen. As a person, he is beautiful and amazing. And he did 3 different plays at Long Wharf. I think you saw one of them, and I can't remember which one it was. But it's interesting to me that he would have adapted this play into a movie and not centered an actual gay character. But at the same time, knowing him and knowing his work, I think he probably saw and knew what Brendan Frazier went through in his personal life.
Right.
And Brendan probably read the script and was like, oh my God, this is something that speaks to me.
Right.
And knew that he could get what he needed out of the character because of their historical past.
Right.
Because of their past, which I don't necessarily know is the right thing, but knowing who he is, and he's got such a cute little dog and such a beautiful husband. But like,
so you're what I'm hearing from you is that you believe that he most likely weighed that decision or considered that thought of this is not a gay actor that I'm employing,
yeah,
but it's Brendan Frazier, and he believed that he would be the best fit for this role.
yeah,
And so he got the role because of that.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. And like, I guess this was actually a play written by him that was adapted into a movie. He didn't adapt it. It was adapted into a movie, but obviously he must have been involved in it in some way. But knowing him and working with him, and I've worked with him several times, there's no way that I could imagine he wouldn't have cast someone who was a part of the community if there wasn't a reason behind it.
Right. And again, I'm not knocking. I want to make sure that
I
people
know.
understand that I'm not knocking Brendan
Honestly,
Frazier.
I was kind of knocking it until I realized who wrote it.
Right. I'm not knocking him as an actor. I mean, because I also believe, like you, that, everyone deserves work. I don't care if the part is gay. I don't care if I have to play a female I don't care if I have to play a fox on, voiceover for a fox on, Guardians of the Galaxy. In the end, it's about getting work and making money.
He's a raccoon.
Oh, well, whatever. Fine. I am Groot.
But I'm reading the article too, and it says seeing Frazier in a 2006 low budget film called Journey to the End of the Night made the director decide to approach the actor for this role.
Interesting. Journey to the End of the Night.
Yep.
Right. And it's important to understand that this movie's not even out yet, right? This was a screening that was done for the film at one of the film festivals. And, at the end of it, he received such an ovation for his work that the man broke down on stage and cried. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful thing to see. Again, I love him as a human, well, as an actor. I don't know him as a human, but I can't imagine that he would be a horrible person. And if anyone, for as long as he's been in the business, that deserves accolades for his work, it's him. But I don't know. I feel so torn about the fact that, more and more, even after Pose, even after all these successful shows that we proved that we could have really great material from amazing representation in our community, we're still seeing this.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to reach out to him.
Maybe we should talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say all because I don't know all of his works, but all, if not most, are centered around some LGBTQ plus issue, whether it's ageism or whether it's what the fuck am I thinking of? Pray the Gay Away.
Right.
They all really, they're beautiful plays, and they all focus on something that's so pivotal and important in our community. So beyond just this, I think having a conversation with him in general would be amazing.
Of his work, his process, how does he develop his stories? I think that would be great.
Yeah.
And let's work on that. Let's not promise anything. We're not promising anything.
I'm going to text him right now.
But we're just saying.
I'm not promising anything.
We do have a GayTalk phone. But anyway, while we contemplate on our end what it is that we're going to do going forward, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll have more conversations and more dish. So stick around. All right, ladies and gents, we are back from our break. We had a chance to refresh our drinks and all that good stuff. We didn't even do a meeting. Yeah. What a shame. He's like, oh, whatever. So happy Wednesday to you all. We are back. Thank you for allowing us to take that break, and thank you for sticking with us. And now we're going to move into, we have another story for you. We pretty much beat that last story to death, but
sorry about that.
No, I think it was a very healthy discussion, and in the end, I think I came to the conclusion that I will most likely watch the film, and I will be happy to see Brendan Frazier succeed because, again, I love him as an actor. So there's that. So, Trish, I'm going to toss it over to you.
Yeah, sure.
You've got a story for us. Tell us what you've got, and let's open.
When it first came out, so there was a teacher that was suspended for misgendering one of her students. This individual went by he, him pronouns and asked to be called by a different name. And when this teacher refused to do, in fact, what the student was asking, she was suspended. She was suspended for, I believe, 3 days.
The teacher or the student?
The teacher.
Okay.
And then the teacher sued the school district.
Okay.
And she just won $95,000.
So she got $95,000 from the school district because she refused to address a student by their preferred pronouns. Where was this?
Kansas.
Yep, Kansas.
Oh, okay. Which makes sense.
Fort Riley Middle School.
So Kansas is one of the states below the Mason-Dixon line, right?
Mm-hmm. So what's interesting about the story is that when this all happened and then this teacher sued the school went ahead and put into place formal policies regarding students' preferred names and pronouns. But the reality was this teacher, those policies weren't in place prior to the suspension, and she was suspended under general policies.
Right. So basically, she was awarded that amount because at the time, the school didn't have those policies in place.
Correct.
So
if I'm hearing
technically she wasn't breaking any rules.
right. So if I'm hearing you correctly, though, now.
But at the same time, under their general policy, she was suspended for bullying.
Okay.
So that, in my opinion, is breaking a rule.
It is. But how would one's refusal to address someone's preferred pronouns bullying, in a sense, right? That would be the argument that the court is making. How is it bullying?
I mean, I don't feel like I need to justify that question. I think it's bullying just by not acknowledging the fact that they identify a certain way.
Right. Well, I mean, we all agree.
If you have the strength to come out and identify a certain way and politely ask to be referred to as he, him, with a first name, and that's not respected, that's bullying.
I agree with you, right? But I'm trying to understand what reasoning the court had to award this person that much money for their refusal to acknowledge someone for their preferred pronouns.
Basically, the argument was it went against her religious beliefs.
Which it seems to be a trend, right? A lot of things
clearly
that are happening are doing so. Like, for example, there was another story, which we won't get into, but, we'll mention, in where someone sued because a private insurance company didn't want to cover PrEP, for example, right?
No, it was a private company that wouldn't allow the insurance company to cover PrEP for their employees.
Right. And so that private company made that decision on their own.
Based on the company's or the leadership's religious beliefs. Yeah.
Right. And so, again, the stance on that was it's against their religious beliefs.
Correct.
And so...
And based on the Religious Freedom Act, they're, as a private company, it was ruled that they were technically allowed to do that. That said, that same person that owns the company said the best way to get rid of AIDS is to murder gay men, pretty much.
Fucking asshole, right? It's the whole same premise behind the Hobby Lobby, for example, and their unwillingness to cover contraception or any type of treatment that had to do with.
That's exactly the same thing.
They use the Religious Freedom Act as part of their refusal to have medical insurance companies cover those services for their employees. But that's disturbing.
Oh yeah, 100%. But what is really amazing about what Fort Riley Middle School did, they have to pay out $95,000, which, let's be honest, as a teacher, it's crazy to me that you would sue a public school when we all know public kids. Most teachers buy half the shit they need,
right,
and bring it to the classroom with their own money.
Right.
So the fact that this person, who is a teacher, is taking $95,000 from their school budget, or it's probably insurance, but at the end of the day, their insurance now will go up and all of that stuff, whatever. It boggles my mind. But what the school did in reaction was kind of beautiful, especially in Kansas. I mean, they not only put into place policies that would protect people from being misgendered, but they put in policies that would protect the students if they came out to a teacher as however they identify, from the teacher going to the parents and letting them know.
Interesting. So, but basically, because the school went out of their way to do that, they now offer obviously their interest is in the best interest of the student, right? And so a teacher now in today's day and age, after this policy change, can't go to the court and say I need to sue because
Correct.
and have a successful outcome like this teacher did because of the actions that the school took.
Right.
Basically, they found a hell of a lawyer that found a hell of a loophole.
Right.
Well, actually, so the teacher's name I think was Miss Ricard.
Yes.
And she used the Alliance Defending Freedom group to represent her, which the group that represented the school, the Southern Poverty Law Center, describes as a hate group.
Which I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, think about all the things that are going on right now in Texas, right? Where you have all the things that are going on in Florida, right? Don't say gay bill, and how that has really polarized the conversation. This is where Republican lawmakers are going because they have nothing else to bring forward other than to sow hate, division, and chaos into our political system, into our everyday lives, which really just ends up being consequential for those that are on the receiving end of that, students, members of our community. And how do we push against that? What do we do about that?
I always say they like, the political parties like to create chaos so that when you're involved in some bullshit brawl out in the streets, they're passing laws. I mean, they do that shit all the time. There's stuff happening, and all of a sudden, new law just passed while this whole commotion was going on.
Well, I think what bothers me the most is the fact that Miss Ricard, this teacher, pretty much said, fuck it. The school counselor said this person likes to go by he, him. This is the preferred first name they like to go by. And instead of listening, what this person did was call the student Miss last name.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think the parents landed on this of this young person?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't speak to that, but it's my assumption the fact that she was suspended.
Right.
I think the parents are in support of their child.
So the student was suspended?
No.
The
The
teacher.
teacher.
Right.
That's why the lawsuit came about.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
guess
assuming
now the
For
parents
3 days, $95,000
So I
for
guess
3
the parents
fucking
could
days.
turn around and sue Miss Ricard
for
now that she's got money
Right.
Yeah.
for discrimination and bias.
I mean,
If they get it, hey,
at
that's
some
the good thing about the law.
Yeah.
But in a state like Kansas, how is that going to fly? Right. I mean, when you think about
The
most
law,
of
the law
the attacks,
works in both ways.
right? It does, but it depends on who's behind the bench, right? Whoever is behind the bench, their beliefs and how they align politically determines the outcome, and it determines your chances of winning. And that was the point I was trying to make, that a lot of states, typically below the Mason-Dixon line, are the states that are really pushing these hardcore anti-LGBTQ plus laws, talking about, we need to protect our children as if we were pedophiles in some way, shape, or form, as if the way that we live our lives.
No, I think it's more about, yes, I think it's about pedophilia, but I think it's also about, we're going to push the gay agenda. We're going to make your children gay. I think they're afraid that having an out proud teacher, or somebody who supports, for lack of a better term, supportive, healthy environment, is going to encourage homosexuality or,
Right. But when
whatever
it is, when you really think about that, you were in social work for many years before you switched careers. We've seen this over and over again. It's like, when you are a person who is part of the community, even when you're young,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Someone doesn't make you gay. Scientifically, that's been proven. you can't be made gay simply by what you're exposed to. If that were the case, I would be a straight guy. I mean, I had one of the best stepfathers in the world. You're right. My little brother's father raised me since I was a very young man. And he was as straight as they came. A man's man, you know, worked very hard and tough love at times. That still didn't stop me from being who I was and who I ended up becoming.
Yeah.
And I love that man dearly, but you know, I'm still a gay person, right? It's you. I don't understand, you know,
the logic
behind some of these things, because basically what they're doing is that they're bullying teachers and out members of our community to sort of kind of go back into a semi-closet, right? Or some sort of like pantry, if we want to call it that, for the sake of you can't expose our kids. I'm like, literally, we're almost to the point where we're going to be Russia, right? With their gay propaganda laws where you can't say gay, you can't wear a fucking rainbow.
And it just got worse over there, by the way.
Yeah, it's scary. It really is. And it's 20 motherfucking 2. Wait, yeah, it is 2022. Yep. That's the scary part, you know? From a social work perspective, what would you say to parents that were seeking guidance in regards to a situation like this young person found themselves in?
Definitely, I would align them with, for example, here in Connecticut, the New Haven Pride Center.
Right.
So they can find the additional support that they would need. I mean, with the social services I did, I was mainly in the HIV field.
Right.
But I did the counseling
which is
with
an
the
important
Center
field.
Youth Group. Yeah.
Right.
With the Center Youth Group. So that was basically what we had made available to kids when I was with the Pride Center eons ago, and we ran the Center Youth Group. A lot of the kids were coming straight after school just to find a safe place,
right?
You know, where they could go and hang out with people that felt alike. And there are a lot of times that they would bring their friends, and they're like, "Oh, this is my friend," and they claim they're straight, but you know, she likes hanging out with me, or he likes hanging out with me, and
right.
Whatever. There was no questioning anything. We allowed them to come in and hang out, and eventually they would start asking questions, and you know,
right.
They were curious and they were scared to talk to their parents. You know, we always offered some counseling. We asked them, if you're comfortable talking to your parents, you could do it in this way or that way, depending on what the situation was at home.
Right.
If you don't feel that you're gonna be safe, then we would suggest no. Then you know, let's look at other options where you can still be you without putting yourself in any harm.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so that's always something that was offered to our kids. But it's tough because if you have a child that's in a school and there's an issue with that, you have to navigate carefully.
Right.
You never know what their home situation is like.
Right. I mean, we say this all the time.
All
you know,
the time.
We're in September. Next month, October 11th, is National Coming Out Day. It is a day that
Are you going to finally come out?
Oh, honey, every year, like clockwork. You know, and we talk
Come
about
out of the kitchen?
how significant coming out is for someone and how liberating it is.
Yes.
But also, we always advocate and say, you know, we have to make sure that we explain to people, if you feel that by coming out, put yourself in danger, don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
But know that there's nothing wrong with you, right? And I think that's the important thing, is to reinforce to everyone.
And it's not and again, just to clarify, it's not a don't come out. Just if you know that a certain situation can put you in harm's way,
right.
Then avoid that for now.
Right.
Until
also
you figure
first.
Yeah.
Right.
Inherit the money first.
Of course.
I do want to say though, like beyond, you know, going back to the story and thinking about the backlash of some of these things, like the Don't Say Gay bill. I mean, Florida has, I think, 9,000 teacher.
Can I make a suggestion? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
I hate the actual sentence. Don't say gay. Can we just say DSG?
Yeah, sure.
DSG. Just like we don't say TRUMP.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Just you know what? Because I feel like we're kind of adding to the propaganda.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So
DSG has forced so many teachers to leave their profession. Also, Florida, I think, is like 41st in salaries, like not paying teachers well, which doesn't help. But their rate of I'm going to retire early went from 35 to 55 after DSG came out. And
which is telling.
So they have 9,000 school openings,
right,
for teachers or professionals,
and they can't get teachers.
So over 450,000 kids started school this year without a permanent teacher, and this is all because of something like DSG.
Right.
This is backlash from DSG, and on top of that, Governor DeSantis, who everybody thinks is so amazing, to try to, fill the gap and make people stay, he pretty much, I think it was like $800 million into the public school systems for salaries, and they still have these rates and 9,000 openings.
Right. They literally are accepting teachers from other countries to come and educate students in Florida, even if they don't have the required qualifications of a U.S. teacher to come and teach.
Yeah. And I think they're
that's
also
how short they are.
I think they're also reaching out to other states and offering sign-on bonuses.
Right.
Yeah.
But what good is that going to do if you still have to, throw your personal life into the fucking closet again just so that you can go and teach? And listen, if I had a choice to ensure that my students had a really good education, I most likely would probably do that. Because, in the end, it's all about the kids. It's all about making sure they have an education, but it's fucked up. Mm-hmm. It is truly and honestly fucked up that that's where we are in a state like Florida, right? Florida is a very diverse state. It's one of, I believe it's like the fourth most populous state in the U.S. It has one of the highest counts for electoral votes when it comes to the presidency, which is why it's such a battleground state. And it's scary that, the messaging that we're sending to our kids is that gay is wrong simply by passing legislation like this. And what really makes me feel good about certain things that are happening is the way, for example, Disney handled that situation. Mm-hmm. Disney was like, screw it. No, we're not gonna go with this. And what did he do? He took away their special status. And what happened when he did that?
Backfired.
Everybody in that community where Disney operates in.
Oh, that's still not done though.
They all have to now pay taxes beyond.
No, they actually don't. It's still all
being litigated.
Wouldn't happen for another couple years.
But it would.
But the reality is, Disney is pretty much lobbying and figuring it out. Like it's not gonna happen. But he made a big show of it,
right?
So that he had the support from his constituents, right? So, look what I'm going to do for you. Meanwhile, Disney's going to be like, okay, fine, we'll pull out. And then they're going to lobby and figure it out so that they're not going to leave and that people won't feel the weight of that tax, right?
Right. Well, because, think about all the services that Disney provides in that district, right?
Think about all the money Disney brings to Florida in general.
Right. So, it's pretty catastrophic, the repercussions of his decisions and the policies that he's passing. And to think that this is potentially a candidate for president, as they believe that he's...
I'm going to turn your mic off.
I know. And then, I will help you.
No, but I also feel, too, for... all those LGBTQ plus educators. I have so many friends that are teachers that are gay, lesbian, whatever, and they can't be put in that situation.
Right.
In this article, they're like, all I want to do is stay here for these kids, but I can't be who I am.
Right. I have to sacrifice everything that I am, who I am, what I am, my whole being for the sake of educating children.
Yeah. And also, try being somebody of the community, seeing somebody in pain or suffering and not doing something.
Right.
You could lose your job.
Right.
I would not be able to do that.
Right. Not doing something will allow you to keep your job, but doing something would prevent you from keeping, like you
That's
can
what
lose
I mean.
your job.
Yeah, like,
and
yeah.
you know, and the pain when you see someone suffering and you can't do
because
anything
you've been
about it.
there.
Because you can't talk about it, because you can't talk about, you know, the bullying and all this crazy stuff that's happening to kids in school that have been for decades. I mean, we went through that. You went through that. I went through that. I don't know if you did.
I didn't really get bullied that much.
Yeah.
I had my bullying, yeah.
I mean, I did too, but it wasn't like...
It wasn't too bad. But
Right.
I mean, I did
Yeah.
deal with some bullying.
But there are a lot of
Something
kids
fine in there?
that deal with really heavy stuff. And
Forgot my laptop. Hello.
Oh, she did.
I know I can't be on my phone, but she's on her phone the whole show. It's fine.
I'm on the. How else am I gonna follow the show?
No, but I mean, on top of all of this shit, on top of the 450,000 kids that don't have a permanent teacher, on top of the $800 million that had to be put and should have been rightly put into the school systems for teacher salary, but was only done because of the loss, we have to face the reality that these kids now have no support. You are going to see a large spike in suicide in Florida. I'm predicting.
Suicide.
I'm predicting, and I'm sorry to say it because I'm such an advocate because of what I've gone through,
Right.
and I just know with some of these kids, if they don't have support at home,
There is the potential for that.
Right.
I think you also have to remember that as we have the Pride Center, I'm sure there are centers in Florida
Right.
that are not
But-
associated with the schools that can offer that support.
right? But they still have to go to school all day.
Right.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, it's the same thing as being in an abusive household. You know, if they find out you're gay and you're going to be abused, it's the same. You look at it the same way, right?
Yeah.
You have to provide the support somehow, and at least provide that. You know, I had a shit day at school. I'm going to the center.
Right.
You know, I need to get away and release or talk to someone, and we have to also recognize that we have these centers available for that reason. You know, it's tough. It sucks. It puts us in a predicament. And I'm sure there will be ways to work around providing those services. But, you know,
But when you think about what happens, for example, with the gay and lesbian student alliance groups that existed
They're gone.
in all these groups, you know, like in all these schools and public schools that
You
were
can't
really
say
better. You can't even
DSG.
So-
But you can say lesbian.
You can?
I don't know. I'm just
I don't
it's
know.
the don't say or
Yeah.
the DSG. So
Maybe we should
There's-
relabel ourselves. Okay, fine. We're not gay. We're colorful. What are you going to do about that?
oh honey,
there's
You
got to
gotta
be
pass a bill and say that
yeah.
you can't categorize yourself or call yourself colorful?
You know,
I don't know.
you have to be inventive.
Right.
For every situation, there's got to be an inventive way around it.
Right.
So you can't have an
Loopholes.
LGBT group in school. Well, it can be labeled as something else. You know,
And I'm sure they're doing that,
and
yeah.
I'm sure they're doing
Yeah.
that. I mean, you have people that are witty and smart about this stuff, and
but I think
I'm sure we'll hear about it as the
Yeah.
year goes through. We'll end up hearing people talking about,
and I think
you know,
that's
groups.
important during this time. But I think at the end of the day, my feelings are they shouldn't have to.
They shouldn't. Absolutely.
And while that is a very smart way to go, and as you said, witty, smart, so that you can still meet and have your community, they just shouldn't have to.
You're right. You're right. Especially for now, in a country where marriage equality is the law of the land. For now. So, all right. Well, ladies and gents, that's been a very, very evocative conversation. Very thoughtful. But we do need to wrap up. So we're going to leave that conversation there. And move on to our closing segment.
I thought
And,
Jay had a story. Didn't he have a story? Or,
did you
No,
have
we're
a story?
good.
oh,
We're good.
okay.
Okay. I didn't.
That was
wanna-
heavy enough. I think we've.
Give me something uplifting for Christ's
yeah,
sake.
that was.
Hello?
Yeah,
Gay
my story
animals.
wasn't that uplifting. So,
Do we have any gay animals? Let's
I
see.
found a chipmunk in my backyard, and I thought it was playing around with another male chipmunk. And they're so pretty. I want to have one as a pet.
oh boy,
A chipmunk.
Oliver was gonna kill
your
it.
dogs
I
are.
know. I keep seeing that video of the guy that goes and feeds the squirrel.
Squishy?
Squishy,
Yeah.
squishy.
That's what it is.
Oh my
you
God.
watching that video
And
too
I
much.
want to give him, little nuts. Sometimes I feel like a nut. Sometimes I don't. So, but yeah, I want gay chipmunks.
In my
Alvin,
backyard.
Simon, Theodore. Ooh, do, 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 do. All right. So I'm going to toss it over to my queens. Let's start with Trish. Trish, I'm going to move it over to you, Mama Kim's Minute. Which, by the way, Mama Kim got a new look. Mama Kim's Minute got a new look on the website. You got to go check it out in tonight's post. Toss it over to Trish.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Here's Mama Kim's Minute. Number 1, Children's Hospital forced to evacuate after bomb threat over trans kids.
Yep.
Number
We're still
2,
here.
Fall Entertainment Preview. 6 queer things to watch and or read.
Right. And if you haven't gotten a chance, watch House of the Dragon. There is a special scene in the background where the tapestry is depicting something very colorful and sex charged.
It is.
That
That was fun. I picked it up and I was like, holy crap.
yeah.
So of course, you know me, Snap.
Not only that, The Rings of Power are out on Amazon Prime.
I heard that's good too.
Allegedly one of the most expensive shows ever to be produced for television, over $2 billion of a budget. Holy shit. But the cinematography is incredible.
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
watch it. All right. On this day, mister?
On this day in gay history, brought to you by GayTalk 2.0,
Yes, queen.
an LGBTQ plus podcast.
You better work this
Oh
day.
shit! So on September 7th of 2001, we're in Canada.
Meanwhile,
in Canada.
Canada.
Oh, God.
Canada.
This has been gone too long.
Is this how we say Canada now? Like,
Well,
how
I know
we
in
do
Europe they say
Target,
instead
Target?
of instead of saying jalapeno, they say jalapenos.
Can I have a jalapenos?
Oh.
No, not happening.
I'm turning it. No.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna
anyhow,
cut it
let's move on.
back. Yes.
The world's first 24-hour LGBTQ TV network was launched. Pride Vision TV is the original name of the network, now Out TV. It is licensed by the Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commissions to provide television services targeted to the LGBT community. Sorry, LGBTQ community.
Leave it to Canada.
All right.
Love Canada.
Canada.
So, Canada.
Canada.
I want a
No, stop.
jalapeno.
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 Can I get a jalapeno?
Or jalapenos.
Can I have some jalapenos?
Can I get
on
some
my
poutine on my
tacos?
jalapeno in Canananiata?
No, you need your jalapenos on your poutine.
Yes.
Jalapenos
see.
and poutine in Canada.
I want my jalapenos on my tacos with my cebolas.
Oh boy, what did I start?
Yeah, you started something. All right. Well, ladies and gents, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you love the show, make sure you go subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting service. By subscribing, you get the latest and greatest of our show delivered right to your favorite device or web browser as soon as our episodes are published. You can also support us on Patreon, which allows you, our listeners, to support the show with a monetary donation, which we collect monthly and can be in any denomination of $1 or more. Jay?
Next week we welcome,
No one.
but Nick
No one.
did not book a guest, so
Yeah.
we welcome ourselves.
Wait.
back to-
Hold on. Let me go
Oh
here.
boy.
Okay, first of all, let me clarify. Next week, maybe Dr. G. We're working on the new time, the new
Right.
day.
Right.
That said, I did book a guest for the following week, bitch.
Yes, queen. mean?
So when-
That's like 2 in a row, motherfucker.
that is
She
true.
wants a doggy biscuit.
Yeah.
We need a little medal.
But yes, but in 2 weeks we will have a guest. We will announce it next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, and now here's Nick with a weekly reminder for all you bottoms out there who want to keep your buttholes on point. Yes, we are talking about future method. I'm going to toss it over to my queen. Here she goes.
All right, everybody, get the future method today. Each time you clean out with water or enemas, delicate tissues are harmed and cells are damaged, increasing chances of injury and or STDs. This first of its kind doctor-developed formula gently cleanses before you play without hurting your bum. Visit futuremethod.com to purchase your life-changing bum cleanser today.
You've gotten so good at that. You better fucking work.
And I guess it is that time of day. Time to put a ring on it.
All the
And
single
yes, I
ladies,
did use
all
a
the
ring all
single
weekend.
ladies. I'm proud
Did you
of
leave it up there?
No.
Did you leave your dignity?
My dignity,
in the
maybe.
tent?
Yeah.
Dignity diaphragm ring.
You.
I know.
Our show is available. No, am I at the right spot? Yes. Our show is available on our website, GayTalk20.com, under audio podcast. It is also available as a free download on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher Radio.
You can find us on social media, Facebook, GayTalk 2.0, Instagram, GayTalk 2.0, Twitter at GayTalk20. You can email us at GayTalk2.0 at GayTalk20.com. Tom?
Let's try it. If you need to reach out to us, just head on over to our website. Click on the Contact Us tab located at the top of the web browser. There you can leave comments, suggest topics, submit a question for the cast or an individual host. You can also call us and leave us your voice message at 334-GAY-TALK. And if you need all those digits, it is 334-429-8255. Don't forget, we do stream live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can access the live stream by visiting digitalstreamradio.com. With that, ladies and gents, that is our show. Thank you, and y'all have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Gay Talk 2.0. Tune in next time for more dish.